Alright, I'm back at the cottage, guys. And even though you can't see it, behind that big ridge of snow is some solar panels. And same thing on the other side. I shoveled off the panels. I gotta go up there and shove off the rest of this roof. Man, it's tiring. That's some hard packed snow. We got here late last night, and I brought the portable lipo box, the 3.8 kilowatt box, and we used it all night last night. Keep ceiling fans going because we got the fireplace going to spread the heat. Microwaved a bit, and by 7 o'clock this morning it went dead, or maybe it was 6 o'clock this morning, right before the sun came out. So we got the trusty old Black Max inverter generator here, running the house and trickle charging my 3.8 kilowatt battery. And we just uncovered the panels, so the batteries will be getting charged. But I got some bad news. The batteries were drained, and then the person that was here wasn't able to uncover the solar panels, so the batteries eventually, just by the cold, got finished being drained and went down to 5 volts. The batteries froze. I'm in the process of de-thawing them. Anyways, let's go take a look. Alright, we're inside now, and we're charging at 275 watts from the generator. I backed this down a bit so that we could use some power in the house as well. We got the laptop on, and then we got our Frogen, what are these? Unigi batteries. It is a lot warmer in here now, so they should be thawing out. They're already showing signs of being thawed out last night. They started taking a charge. And this is what we got from solar. So we got from solar on the other side. We got 3.5 and 2 amps. And we are charging with this old school dumb charger. We only got a couple amps going in. And we're gonna see if we can revive these slightly. I'm gonna be here till tomorrow. So we've already been charging for about, I don't know, 13 hours, maybe more. But yeah, hopefully we get some more sunlight soon. But the panels have a crust of ice on them that I can't get off, so anyways, I'll update you guys as we go, and maybe I'll do a load test at the end of it. So we've been having problems with this charge controller here, and I have 3 panels, 324 volt panels on the roof in series. And in the summer it worked great. They never went over like 95 volts, so it was right close to the limit. It was working good. But the winter hit, and I forgot that solar panels put out more voltage in winter. So we were sitting right now at 83 volts, but that is with this 40 watt incandescent bulb hooked directly to the panel output. So what we're doing here, when I turn it on, it's just keeping the panel voltage from rising above 100 volts. And that seems to be working right now. Oh, we just hit 100 volts though. Let's see what happens here. It's tracking. You can see the light dimming and brightening. We're at 101 volts. Could be because the sun's coming out behind the trees and getting more power, but we're down to 99 volts now. As long as we stay under 100 volts. I'm not sure why these things just don't have a cap and they just stop all voltage. There we go, 117 volts, went into alarm, and we're producing nothing again, and now the light's really bright. So I shut this off, turn it back on. Does that work? It doesn't look like it. So I might have to switch to a higher wattage bulb. That's a 40 watt, and I got a 100 watt there, which I'm going to try next. Well guys, we have a problem. It's minus 25 right now. It was minus 30 something last night. And when we were unpacking and such, my little girl and my wife left a couple lights on. And in the Jeep. We found it before the battery went dead though, but I didn't think it had have gotten that dead because they're only on for about half an hour. I should have started it, but I didn't. And now, she don't want to start. Really hard start, so I got both ATVs. Got the Can-Am and I got the Yamaha. Both of these ATVs are hooked up to my Jeep with boosting cables. I gotta watch this one because it's carbureted. The other one's fuel injected, so it's a lot easier to do with this one. This one just runs nicely. I got both the throttles up a tiny bit on both ATVs, so they're probably pushing around 20 amps each, maybe 30 into my Jeep. Yeah, that's my issue I'm having. We got I think 250 or 220 foot booster cables, so there's lots of losses in the lines. And I'm stuck in a spot where I can't unload my ATVs. So this is what I got to deal with. I got some charge coming in from solar. Not much, but we got some. It's quite cool today. Really cool. My grandparents got a Jeep Grand Cherokee for up here for driving around. It's covered in like 2 feet of snow, but anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully we get this thing started soon. Alright, the challenge is on. I believe my battery's gone bad just from that slight discharge last night with the light being left on. So my battery in my Jeep does not seem to have any power whatsoever. So I'm attempting to boost it off of this. This was left on the raft. That's what they're using. They had a solar panel on it, but this was left in the outdoors, so this has been through a beating. But it seems to still have life in it, so I'm attempting to boost off this, my ATV's battery, my other ATV's battery. Now I have, because it's barely cranking over with what I have, so now I have the Black Max inverter generator plugged into my heater core. I've been trying to get this thing started for about 2 hours now with just the ATVs. I just had them charging and I was sitting at about 15 volts and absolutely nothing. Without the ATVs hooked up, it doesn't even crank. So obviously that battery is shot. It's really bad timing now that we're up at the cottage. Nobody close by. So gotta get her going. The Can-Am, it's a much newer ATV, it has a much bigger alternator than the older Grizzly. That puts out about maybe 20 amps max, maybe more like 15, and this one puts like 30 amps. It's pretty good, almost double. So, yep. Just gotta wait for this thing to warm up a bit and she should start right up. Alright. This is the second night at the grandparents' cottage. I got the Unity batteries a little bit warm. They're definitely above freezing anyways, at least these two are. These four over here, I'm hoping they're closer together so it's harder to warm them up. But I had the Mr. Heater Buddy facing right here, blasting this way for a few hours. Plus, it's nice and warm in here. So, I also have my Jeep Diesel Grand Cherokee. It has a 180 amp alternator. The alternator is twice the size of a normal car. It's massive. I've replaced it and it sucks. But it's charging my batteries, or my grandparents' batteries. We're sitting at 13.5 volts. When I started, we were at 5 volts. 5 volts, which is absolutely terrible. But the good thing here, I cannot believe this, I don't know how, but not a single cell has short-circuited. Hold on one second. What do you want to show me? Wow, look at that.
Daddy.
And that one too. Good girl. Okay.
Daddy.
Anyways, not a single cell in any of these batteries has a short. So we're easily getting up in the higher voltage. If I disconnect right now, like I'll show you actually. So right now we're being charged. I have a wall charger. So well, I got a generator out on outside, but we're gonna take all charging off these batteries. So that is the main booster coming from my Jeep. And here we are. These are the batteries. I've already put a 1500 watt load, drops to 10.5 volts. That's just to test it, but look at that. That is a good sign of not having a shorted cell. A shorted cell means if this was a shorted cell, it would drop to 10 volts almost immediately. If you have a battery that does that, you almost for sure have a shorted cell. This we do not, so it's still dropping slightly. I'm sure it would probably average out at around like 11.5 or something like that. But just because I don't have much time here, so I gotta get this charging. So I don't want to keep this off for too long. Here we are, going right back up again. Anyways, just giving you guys an update on the system. SWI power inverter, 12 volt model, still working amazing, which is crazy because I went through 2 of these models. So yeah, anyways, this one's working really good. They run a big vacuum cleaner and everything off that. Another thing, my panels in this are too high voltage in the winter, so what I did for them, just temporarily till I can get them the 150 watt version, I have one at home, I gotta bring it and swap it out, is when the voltage on the panels go above 100 volts, they turn this 100 watt light bulb on and this 40 watt light bulb on right here. That's just hooked up right to where the panels come in. And you should see these light up full brightness, just like a 120 watt socket. And what they do is they help keep the voltage from 100 volts or less. And depending on what kind of sun you're getting, you can either undo the 100 watt and just use the 40 watt, or you can just shut the 40 watt off and use the 100 watt. It doesn't matter because it's winter here. All this energy is being turned into heat, so it's still useful. But I do need to get the proper charge controller here. We're still charging. The pack that I brought here, we completely used up what we had the first night, so we used 3.8 kilowatts or whatever is usable from this inverter up in the first night. But we're getting pretty fully charged. By the time we go to bed tonight, it'll be fully charged and we'll be able to do the exact same thing again. And I'm also editing a video. Anyways, thanks for watching. So we've been charging almost all day, and we've just been sitting at 13.6 volts because, well, this is 13.9. We have losses in the lines between the batteries, and there's also about 30 to 40 feet of booster cable. I believe there is 30 feet of booster cable. Actually, no, there's actually 40 feet of booster cable. So there's tons of losses in the lines because it's so long, and it's a 2 gauge cable. And we're going to do a test now. I've been charging this since I got here. I'm staying overnight tonight. I'm going to be running my vehicle all night long. It's a diesel and it's got a 180 amp alternator. And it's not pulling much current. I checked, it's only pulling about 15 amps right now. So we're going to disconnect. We're going to hook up the 12 volt inverter, and we're going to run a heater on 750 watts. And I'm going to watch the voltage drop. And I'm pretty much going to run this, not quite, but almost till the inverter shuts down, because I'm trying to warm the batteries up. They are already warm, but not warm, but they're warmer than minus 26 like they were when I found them. But we're trying to break up any ice or any sulfation we have in these cells. So let's get on with the test. We'll take the wall charger off, which is doing nothing anyways because the generator's off outside. And that is my Jeep right there, that hook. Now we're gonna turn this on. We're sitting at 13 volts. It's gonna drop very slowly. It will drop. 12.9. It's dropping much slower than it was before. This one seems to be the more accurate. 12.9. This one says 12.5. But they're hooked to different parts of the battery bank, so who knows. Now it's saying 12.8, 12.7. So it is dropping. This is with no load. It's slowly dropping. So before it drops too much, I'm going to turn this on because this is going to create internal resistance in the battery, which will help heat it up. This is 750 watts. Drop down to 11.5, 11.4. This is going to keep dropping for a while. 121 volts AC. This SWI 12 or 12 volt inverter does not seem to be a bad inverter. The ones I had seemed to be bad, but this one's already a year old. Has been doing alright, so can't fault it. Now we have 750 watts of heat. That feels really good. We're going to see how long this lasts before it gets to 10.5 volts, and that's 10.5 under load, mind you. And then we're going to put it back onto charge, and that'll be on charge overnight till tomorrow, so it should get at least up to what it is tonight. And we'll see. We're down to 11.2, so there is some usable capacities in this battery bank, even though they have been damaged due to cold and negligence on the charging side of things. So we'll see. 12.2 or 11.2 is what it's holding at, and I'll update you guys as it goes. So I ran a heater on the system for a while. I just plugged it back in. I went down to 10.5 volts, and it was around an hour. I got about 750 watt hours out of it. It is nowhere near what it used to be, and it's still on its way to recovery, but it'll never be what it was. But I'm hoping that it'll be somewhat useful. And that was a dead short, so that was a heater. Anyways, we're back to charging. We got 35 amps pumping into the system, and this is going to go all night, and we'll see what it's like in the morning. So as time goes by, these batteries are starting to really soak up the power. Sitting at 13 volts. They're warming up. They're starting to take a much better charge. All 7 of them. Everybody else is sleeping, so I gotta keep it down. This is all 6 of them. This is the 7th one. We're using this on the dock, portable dock. We're using it with an electric motor. We can like fish around with it and whatnot. I went and retrieved it. I was supposed to come up much earlier this year before freezing temperatures, so my grandpa left it out for me. It was sitting on the dock. It had solar panels, but it was totally covered. Luckily, it was still above 12 volts, so I don't believe it was too far damaged. So this one is most likely the best Unity battery left. That's the battery itself. that is charging with the rest of the batteries. I stuck an amp meter on it, so those are the booster cables running in right there. That battery right there has 8 amps going to it. And after that battery, through these booster cables, there's a further 20 amps going into these batteries. Shared. We're sitting at 13 volts coming from my 180 amp alternator from my Jeep, going through, it is 3 or 4 sets of booster cables. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's 3. Nope, that's a lie. 4 sets of booster cables. So 4 sets of booster cables all connected to one another going to my Jeep. So there's tons of losses in the lines. I'm sure my Jeep's probably sitting at close to 15 volts. And in here, we're sitting at 13 volts. So that's a 2 volt difference. It's just what I had to deal with. I could not, usually I sit right outside this door. My Jeep would be parked right there, and I'd be running it if I needed to. But circumstances have it, there's a trailer parked in the way where I'd normally go, and it is frozen in the ground. I tried moving it. It's not moving. So that's just the way things are. We are running off the 3.8 kilowatt LiPo box with the 3000 watt reliable electric inverter. That's what's running the lights in here. That's what's running the fan. It runs everything. It runs the microwave over there that we use. There's a fan in our room, which I'm sleeping in, which has a fan running because I have, on top of the fireplace, I have a Mr. Heater Buddy in the next room, just heating the bedroom, because these floors are not insulated. The wind can blow right under this house. It's just the way they have it. This was only made to be temporary, this house. But the way things are, temporary always ends up being a little bit longer than you think. They have plans to put this on a foundation, but just the way it is. I got some nice hardwood logs here. They're burning. They burn for a nice long period of time. So this one seems to be the survivor. Good battery. The rest of them, the rest of these batteries and these gray batteries here, definitely damaged. 100% damaged. How damaged, I don't know. It could be 10% damaged. It could be 50% damaged. It could be 90% damaged. We will find out. I am attempting to recover them as best as I can. We're at 13.1. Literally running my Jeep through the night just to charge these batteries. I'm trying to help my grandparents and my uncle out here by charging them this way, giving them one more chance at survival. They seem to be taking a charge quite nicely. They were 100% frozen. Like I checked the temperature on the batteries. They're all below 0. So they were frozen, but they are coming up. So we'll see by tomorrow morning. I'm going to bed soon. And yeah, just hope and pray that these things come back to life and that they didn't damage them too badly, because these are not cheap batteries. And it's too bad because they are nice sealed AGM batteries. These ones don't off gas unless way overcharged to the point where they actually start to bubble out the sides. They don't outgas till the batteries are damaged. Once they're damaged, they start outgassing. That's what makes these really nice batteries, but well, we'll find out anyways. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.